Honourable Damien O'Connor.
Raises some very important issues around, as always, of course, around some of the technical issues, around smart meters and I guess the tools that will be available or not available, used or not used, into the future, and we hope that they are used. I just want to focus on the issue of structure, I guess, and the authority, Mr Speaker, will be a key player in whatever might happen in the future. Can I go back, though, an issue raised, and Mr Gilmore said that this would have better control on prices into the future. Can we go back and refer to a submission made to the Select Committee? I wasn't there, Mr Chairman, but Contact Energy, a major player, confirmed in its evidence that it will need to continue to raise retail prices by up to 5% per annum if it is to continue to invest profitably in new generation capacity. That's what they said. 5% per annum. That is scary for a fixed income New Zealander facing a cold winter, Mr Speaker. And so where do they go? Oh, well, they might say, Mr Speaker, if you pick up on that, well, reasonable profits. We don't have to have, huge profits, so maybe we don't have to go to 5%. This national government has said to each and every SOE that they must lift the level of return on their investments. Now, what does that mean? That means they have been instructed to make more profit to return back into the consolidated fund. So any kind of vague or vain hope that we will see moderate levels of profits, in fact, they are just a hope, Mr Chairman, because Contact Energy themselves at the Select Committee said that they would probably be raising prices of up to 5%. I hope that doesn't occur, Mr Speaker. Can I go back, or move on, I should say, back to the authority, of course, and that's right, but I have to say that the national government, my colleague says never go back, that's right, they do need to look at the mistakes they made in the late 90s. They do need to learn from those mistakes so they can go forward and improve in the future. Mr Speaker, the authority. Well, the National Party in opposition absolutely railed against the Electricity Commission. They opposed it at every single speech in this House, every piece of legislation, saying it was unnecessary, interference. But now we've got an authority. So what's the key difference? Well, I looked at the objective in Clause 17, Mr Speaker, in Part 2. The objective of the authority is to promote competition in, reliable supply by and the efficient operation of the electricity industry for the long-term benefit of consumers. Very laudable, fairly kind of honourable and useful objectives. Not too different, Mr Chairman, from the Electricity Commission. We were attempting, of course, to control the market and did a fair job to bring in some necessary regulation, but we didn't do what we hoped we would, and I don't think the authority is going to do it here, Mr Chairman. If you go back to the independence of the members of the authority, the previous speaker said that we would not have a guaranteed consumer advocate here. That's true. They do make reference to membership, someone who might raise consumer issues, but the bill clearly states no one on that authority will be able to act on behalf of any particular organisation or particular industry group. That means that the fixed income New Zealanders, be it grey power, be it beneficiaries, they won't be able to have a champion on the authority, Mr Speaker, because the legislation prevents them. So what we've seen in the past through the market is that big players have been able to negotiate lower rates for electricity, so their increases have been moderate. But the little players, the average New Zealander, the person who doesn't have a lot of muscle or a lot of leverage, other than through fair representation in this House through the Labour Party, those people aren't going to have a say. The price increases for them, as quoted by Mr Gilmore and the Minister time and time again, have been very high, Mr Chairman, and we do not want to see a repeat of that. where the industry players effectively ratchet up the cost to small players because they don't have any ability. This authority will not give them any better representation or ability to reduce the price increases.
Honourable David